Well, I just can't wait for her to get here. She's gonna be so proud when she sees what we've done with this hotel.
Ever wonder what happens when TV executives get greedy and think, hey, that show's popular, let's make another one? Spoiler alert, it usually ends in a spectacular disaster. Television history is littered with shows that thought they could repeat success twice. Today, we're counting down 10 failures, spin-offs, copycats, and shameless cash grabs that crashed hard. Get ready for some truly cringe-worthy TV disasters. Number 10. The New Monkeys. The New Monkeys was trying to recapture the magic of the 1960s pop phenomenon, complete with 4 young guys living together, getting into wacky situations, and performing original songs. The problem? The original Monkeys were a perfect storm of timing, talent, and cultural moments that you simply can't manufacture 20 years later. The show failed spectacularly because it felt like someone's dad trying to be cool at a high school party. The music was forgettable, and the comedy felt forced. It lasted exactly 1 season, airing on syndicated television, which should have been the first red flag. Fun fact, the show's theme song included the lyric, "We're the New Monkeys, we're the New Monkeys," because subtlety was apparently not in the budget. Number 9. Mayberry RFD. When the Andy Griffith Show ended its incredible 8-season run, CBS wasn't ready to let go of that small-town charm. Enter Mayberry RFD, which kept the setting, but swapped out Andy Taylor for Sam Jones, a farmer and a town councilman played by Ken Berry. The show was riding the coattails of one of America's most beloved sitcoms, hoping that keeping the same town, same supporting characters, and same wholesome values would be enough. And honestly, it wasn't terrible. It just failed to capture the magic that made the original so special. Andy Griffith's natural charisma and the father-son dynamic with Opie were irreplaceable. The show got axed in 1971 when the network decided to ditch all their country-themed shows for more urban, sophisticated programming. Tell us in the comments, what's the worst spin-off or copycat television show you've ever seen? And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Number 8. The Golden Palace. The Golden Girls ran for 7 successful seasons. So when B. Arthur decided to hang up Dorothy's cardigans, the remaining 3 Golden Girls weren't ready to retire. The Golden Palace moved Rose, Blanche, and Sophia from their Miami house to a hotel they'd purchased. The show was clearly trying to recreate the magic of 4 women supporting each other through life's adventures. They added new characters, including Don Cheadle as the hotel manager, and tried to maintain the sharp writing and chemistry that made the original special. But here's the brutal truth. Dorothy wasn't just 1/4 of the group, she was the foundation. B. Arthur's dry wit and perfect timing were essential to the show's dynamic. The show struggled with ratings and never found its footing, lasting just 1 season. It's a classic case of not understanding what made the original work in the first place. Fun fact, Betty White later said she wished they had ended the Golden Girls on a high note rather than attempting the spin-off, calling it a mistake. Number 7. The Ropers. Three's Company was ABC's ratings darling, so when Norman Fell and Audra Lindley wanted out of their supporting roles as the landlords, the network created the Ropers as a vehicle for the beloved characters. The spin-off followed Stanley and Helen Roper as they moved to a new neighborhood and dealt with their uppity new neighbors. It was trying to capitalize on the chemistry between Fell and Lindley while giving them room to be the stars rather than the supporting players. But the Ropers made a crucial error. It removed the characters from what made them funny in the first place. On Three's Company, the Ropers were the perfect foils for Jack's shenanigans and the trio's domestic chaos. On their own show, they were just a married couple with relationship issues. The show lasted just 2 seasons, and here's the kicker. When it was canceled, both actors wanted to return to Three's Company, but the producers had already recast their roles. Talk about burning bridges. Number 6. Sanford Arms. When Red Fox left Sanford & Son after 6 successful seasons, NBC wasn't ready to let go of the Sanford universe. Sanford Arms kept the same setting, the junkyard, but replaced Fred Sanford with Phil Wheeler, who bought the property and turned it into a rooming house. The show was desperately trying to recapture the magic that was Red Fox's cantankerous Fred Sanford. They kept some of the supporting characters and the same working-class Los Angeles setting, but removed the central relationship that made the original work. Sanford Arms failed because Fred Sanford wasn't just the main character. He was the show. His curmudgeonly personality, his relationship with Lamont, and Red Fox's impeccable comedic timing were irreplaceable elements. Without them, you just had a generic sitcom about a boarding house. The show was canceled after just 4 episodes, making it one of the shortest-lived spin-offs in TV history. Tell us in the comments, do you remember any of these? Please remember to like and subscribe for more TV history deep dives. Number 5. Gloria. All in the Family and its spin-off Archie Bunker's Place had ruled television for over a decade, so CBS thought Gloria Bunker-Stivic deserved her own show. Gloria followed Archie's daughter as she divorced Mike and moved to upstate New York with little Joey to start fresh. But Gloria suffered from a fundamental problem. Gloria was never the most interesting character in the All in the Family universe. She worked as a daughter caught between her liberal husband and conservative father, but as a solo act, she lacked the compelling edge that made other Lear protagonists memorable. The show also felt sanitized compared to its predecessors. Where All in the Family was groundbreaking and controversial, Gloria was just pleasant. Fun fact, Sally Struthers later said she regretted doing the spinoff, feeling it damaged Gloria's character development from the original series. Number 4. Galactica 1980. Battlestar Galactica had developed a devoted cult following despite lasting only 1 season, so ABC decided to bring it back with Galactica 1980. The sequel series followed the survivors as they finally reached Earth in the year 1980. The show was trying to recapture the space opera magic of the original while dealing with a much smaller budget. Instead of epic space battles, we got Cylons chasing people through Los Angeles and time travel shenanigans involving flying motorcycles. Yes, really. The show lasted just 10 episodes, but those episodes were so notoriously awful that they became legendary among bad TV enthusiasts. It was like someone took Star Wars and turned it into a Saturday morning children's show, but not on purpose. Here's the wild part. Lorne Greene reprised his role as Commander Adama, lending credibility to what was essentially elaborate fan fiction. Number 3. The Brady Brides. The Brady family was America's favorite blended household, so NBC decided to check in with Marcia and Jan as they got married in a double wedding and moved in together with their new husbands. Because nothing could go wrong with that setup, right? The Brady Brides was trying to recapture the wholesome family comedy of the original while updating it for the early 80s. The premise: 2 sisters married to very different men living under one roof. Had sitcom potential written all over it. But the show suffered from a crucial problem. Marcia and Jan worked as part of a larger family dynamic, not as standalone adults. The characters felt like they were playing dress-up in their parent genre, and the manufactured conflicts felt forced compared to the natural chaos of the original Brady household. The show lasted just 10 episodes, though it did feature some truly bizarre storylines, including Jan's husband being a college professor and Marcia's being a fun-loving salesman. It was like watching your favorite childhood characters grow up badly. The failure of the Brady Brides didn't stop the Brady franchise from trying again with the Bradys in 1990, which also flopped as well. Number 2. Joanie Loves Chachi. Happy Days was ABC's nostalgic goldmine. So when Scott Baio became a teen heartthrob, the network spun off his character Chachi into his own series with Aaron Moran's Joanie. The young couple moved to Chicago to chase Chachi's music dreams. The show was riding the wave of teen-oriented programming and trying to capture the young demographic that had made Chachi a breakout character. It had music, romance, and the nostalgic 50s setting that made Happy Days successful. But Joanie Loves Chachi failed because it removed the characters from the Cunningham family dynamic that made them work. Without Fonzie, Mr. C, and all the gang at Arnold's, Joanie and Chachi were just two young people with limited personalities and even more limited acting range. The show also suffered from Scott Baio's limitations as a leading man. He was charming as a supporting character, but couldn't carry an entire series. After just 17 episodes, the characters were folded back into Happy Days, where they belonged in the first place. It was kind of like a failed experiment that everyone pretended never happened. Number 1. After MASH. Taking the top spot is After MASH, the spinoff that followed Colonel Potter, Klinger, and Father Mulcahy as they returned to civilian life after the Korean War ended. CBS was trying to extend the life of MASH, one of the most beloved series in television history. The show moved the action to a veterans hospital in Missouri, where Potter served as chief of staff, Klinger worked as his assistant, and Mulcahy ministered to the patients. It seemed like a natural continuation of the characters' stories in the show's blend of comedy and drama. But After MASH committed the ultimate spin-off sin. It fundamentally misunderstood what made MASH great. The original worked because of the unique pressure cooker environment of a mobile army hospital during wartime. The characters were forced together, creating natural conflict and camaraderie. In peacetime Missouri, that tension evaporated. The show felt like a pale imitation of its predecessor, lacking the sharp writing, the life-or-death stakes, and most importantly, the ensemble cast that made MASH special, and it felt incomplete. The show limped along for 2 seasons as fans realized this wasn't the MASH they fell in love with. It was like watching your favorite movie's deleted scenes, technically featuring the same characters, but missing everything that made them worth watching. Fun fact, After MASH was so universally panned that it actually hurt the legacy of MASH for some viewers, proving that sometimes it's better to end on a high note than to risk tarnishing a perfect finale. These 10 failures prove a fundamental truth about television. Lightning rarely strikes twice in the same place. Sometimes the best thing you can do is leave perfection alone. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the weird, wonderful, and sometimes tragic world of television history. Until next time, remember, not every show deserves a sequel, but every failure teaches us something about what makes great television great.